Travel along, Catholic pilgrims, as we learn from St. Augustine, Doctor of the Church, while we read his book, Confessions. Hello, Catholic pilgrims, welcome. Today, St. Augustine will expound more on the amazing abilities of humans, our ability to hear sounds that form words and understand that those words have meaning is truly remarkable when you think about it. We are reading from Book 10, Chapter 10, on page 217. When I am told that it is possible to ask three kinds of questions, whether a thing is, what it is, and of what sort it is, I retain images of the sounds of which these words are composed. I know that these sounds have passed through the air and now are no more. But the facts which they represent have not reached me through any of my bodily senses. I cannot see them at all except in my mind, and it is not their images that I store in my memory, but the facts themselves. But they must themselves tell me, if they can, by what means they entered my mind. For I can run through all the organs of sense, which are the body's gateways to the mind, but I cannot find any by which these facts could have entered. My eyes tell me, if they have color, we reported them. My ears say, if they have sound, it was we who gave notice of them. My nose says, if they have any smell, it was through me that they passed into the mind. The sense of taste says, if they have no taste, do not put your question to me. The sense of touch says, if it is not a body, I did not touch it, and if I did not touch it, I had no message to transmit. How, then, did these facts get into my memory? Where did they come from? I do not know. When I learned them, I did not believe them with another man's mind. It was my own mind which recognized them and admitted that they were true. I entrusted them to my own mind as though it were a place of storage from which I could produce them at will. Therefore, they must have been in my mind even before I learned them, though not present to my memory. Then whereabouts in my mind were they? How is it that I recognized them when they were mentioned and agreed that they were true? It must have been that they were already in my memory, hidden away in its deeper recesses, in so remote a part of it that I might not have been able to think of them at all, if some other person had not brought them to the fore by teaching me about them. It's been a while since I've had a young toddler in my house, but the other day I babysat a friend's almost 2-year-old while she had a doctor's appointment. And we were playing out in the backyard, and he was pointing to different objects, and I would say what those objects were. And I could tell that his mind was learning to connect the word that came out of my mouth to an object. You can tell that he already understands a lot of words because if I asked him, do you want to go outside? He said, yes, and moved to the back door. When I said outside, that conjured in his mind the place to go to get outside, which is the back door, and he went there. St. Augustine says, quote, I know that these sounds have passed through the air and now are no more. But the facts which they represent have not reached me through any of my bodily senses. Unquote. Yes, you hear the words through your ears, but the ears don't have a way of making you think of an image. Your mind conjures up that image. You can hear me say right now, rainbow. The ears take in the sound, but immediately in your mind, a rainbow image appears. You can't not think of it. This is another aspect of humans that is incredible. Now, some mammals can start to understand certain sounds mean certain things, like my cat knows when I call her name. She comes to me, even if from another room. However, a goldfish would never come to me if I called its name. So not all animals have this ability. But we speak in a way where we put together sounds to form words to convey a thought. What this does for us is it allows us to dialogue with each other, discuss things, and contemplate so that we can use words to understand and explain the world around us. Now, Obviously, I know you guys all know this, but have you ever really stopped to think about it? That's what St. Augustine is doing here. He's thinking about these magnificent abilities that God has given us that raises us above other earthly things such as plants and animals. And I just find it another remarkable blessing from God and something to thank Him for. We will pause here for today, Catholic Pilgrims. Come back tomorrow to hear me read more words from St. Augustine. But until then, live the faith boldly and travel well.